'Cause it's just loose lips. I chat better than I sing, so go ahead and enjoy.
It came for me, and this is the question that I get asked often, and it came for me is like you say, we went to the same school, so you've seen me grow up, and whether it be playing football or being involved in music or whatever it is that we were doing back then. For me, there's two things here is there's been people with mental illnesses in my family, and this was at a time before it was even like depression was widely talked about, or anxiety was it's like a thing now. Depression's it's great, everyone's talking about it, or it's much more widely accepted. Whereas now, when I look back, I think, damn, that person was going through what you'd now class as depression. You just didn't know it back then. You just thought they're just down, or they're just having a bad day, or they're just that kind of person. You didn't realize it was a mental illness until like more recently. And I've grown up with people around me like that, and I've always kind of looked at it and felt like I don't want it. I don't want that for my life, and not in a like, oh, they've got it there. I wanted to know, how do you get out of that? Because it's not what you've got, it's how you react to things. Because you see people with less things than what you've got, happy, not complaining or not worrying about the things that other people are. And it's like, I don't want to just think that my life is written. I don't like the thought of destiny in that kind of terms, and like, oh, that's just your lot in life, that's just the way you are. For me, it was like, I've seen these people really, really struggle with alcoholism, with depression, with this. And it's, to be honest, Ben, it scared me. It was fear that got me thinking, I don't want this for my life. How do I learn the skills to get out of it? And then as I grew up in football and in music, and, like all those things that I challenged myself to do, I always had a level of ability in all of them, but never the confidence to follow it through. So I could do something good and I'd feel great for a minute, but then it'd only take one person to say something negative for me to completely lose my confidence, for me not want to do it. And there's so many times where now I look back and I was thinking, I was on the verge of something there, but I gave up. Why did I give up? Because I didn't believe in myself, because I didn't really truly think I was either worthy of it, I was good enough, or someone told me I wasn't good enough. And I just shut up shop, and I just thought, nah, it's too painful. It's too painful to be involved in this. So I'll just leave it there and not give it a go. But the more you do that, you get so sick and tired of quote unquote failing, or feeling like there's more to give and just giving up on yourself. You get to a point where it's like, enough. And that was the point for me. Is like, I've seen it all my life with these people in my family that have suffered with it. Now I'm going through it and I'm giving up and I'm down about it, and it's affecting my relationships, my career trajectory. It's affecting all that stuff. All right, stop. What do I need to do to figure this stuff out? How am I going to get there? And then you just end up down this rabbit hole of information, of tools, of techniques, of therapies, of styles, and you start thinking of them and applying them. And that doesn't mean by any stretch that my life is perfect. And that's one thing that I'll say about any coach is their life isn't perfect. So if they tell you their life's perfect, it's not. Everybody's going to face challenges. It's just about how quick you can bounce back, or if you've got the skills to get yourself out of it. And for me, it's like, I'm addicted now to figuring out, okay, I'm in this situation, how do I get out of it? Or this person's in a situation, how do we get them out of it? How do we get them to where we need to get to next? But it all started, like, to summarize, it all started for me was fear, number one, of not wanting my life to turn out like that, of the way I've seen some really sad stories in my personal life. And number two, just being sick and tired of feeling like I've got so much more within me, I don't know how to get it out.
So you actually were looking at the tools to transform that thought, and then that, with the skill set that you had adopted and learned, then made you think, I want to help other people in this mindset.
Definitely, for me, it was like we help. When we help ourselves, we then learn the skills to help others. But it's also like, sports are a really great analogy for this, because like some of the best, like, I don't claim to know anyone's life that I work with better than them. I can't know it. I'm not in it. I'm not involved. I don't feel the pain in the same way that they do. But what you can do from a coach's perspective is just take a step back and say, okay, I see what's going on here. Is a new perspective, a new way of looking at it. And if we implement these things, we've got a chance to put it right, or we can put it right because the techniques are there, the skills are there to do it. But you know, I've got to be practicing what I preach, even that sometimes it's easier to give advice to other people. It always is for everyone to implement it for yourself, but you've got to be able to do both sides of that coin.
'Cause it's just loose lips.